as the Nikki Yadav murder case unravels, more troubling details continue to come forward. As per the latest details, Nikki Yadav was married to Sahil Gehlot in October 2020 at an Arya Samaj Mandir in Noida. Cops have recovered Nikki and Sahil's marriage certificate as well. A probe reveals that Sahil's family was not happy about his marriage to Nikki, while her family claims they had no knowledge of any wedding. Remember, Sahil Gehlot got married to another woman on the day he allegedly strangulated Nikki Yadav with a mobile charging cable and left her body to rot in a car. Cops have arrested 5 other co-accused in this case, including Sahil's father, 2 cousins and 2 friends, all of whom allegedly aided and abetted Sahil in killing Nikki Yadav and disposing of her body. While justice for Nikki Chorus is growing rapidly, this isn't the first such gruesome murder the nation was shook by. The murder of Shraddha Avalkar, again by her so-called boyfriend who stuffed her body in a refrigerator and went on to live his life normally. Similarly, Nikki too was killed and her alleged husband stuffed her body into the fridge and married on the same day. Another woman, Megha Torvi, was killed by her husband in Maharashtra and her body was found decomposing in their bed box. Given the rise in such brutalities, it begs us to ask, where is society headed? What makes you kill your own partner, and what kind of illusion do you live in when you think that you can get away with a murder as gruesome as this? Joining me on the show is renowned advocate, Supreme Court lawyer Ashwini Dubey. Also with us on the show is Advocate Rekha Agarwal, senior lawyer of the Supreme Court. Dr. Pankaj Kumar, senior psychologist, also joins us on the show. Last but not the least, Mr. Ved Bhushan, former ACP of the Delhi Police, is also with us on the program. Ashwini Dubey, I'd like to begin with you. In your professional opinion, you must have seen a number of cases where brutalities have been committed against, fellow human beings. What is the legality behind such a gruesome crime, and why isn't there, a stable deterrent to make people at least afraid of what consequences they might face if they are caught?
Vineet bhai, thank you for having me here. Am I audible, Vineet?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. Thank you, Vineet bhai. Vineet bhai, one aspect is that so far as the constitutional and legal provision is concerned, the person has a right to choose his life partner. Under the garb of this constitutional freedom, the constitutional freedom which says that every person has right to choose his life partner, it is a fundamental right. And Article 21 of the Constitution of India, right to life, envisages and give that right. But at the same time, Vineet bhai, when the question comes for concealment of identity, question comes for concealment of religious identity, concealment of name, allurement, impersonation, then the problem is there. Now, what is happening? Under this freedom, Article 25 and 21, people whosoever are involved in this crime, who are part of the organized crime, the unofficial term which is called the love zihar or any other kind of offense which is committed against the partner, there is no specific law. The moment it comes to the domain that somebody has killed somebody and have kept the body, and have kept the body or thrown the body or have tried to destroy the evidences, then the other person, instead of making it in a larger perspective for the public that look, one has to choose the partner carefully. You must approach to the police officials and police official must take a law. We just try to start shedding the weight. What happened in Shraddha's case, one issue was there that it was a case of love zihar. Police did not take any action. And another case was that people were saying that it was her right and the parents were knowing this fact. Parents deliberately did not disclose fact. So now the question is, when 11 states have made a law which says that if somebody conceals the identity, and if without religion, because it should not be seen in the part of the religion, sometimes it may be a religious concealment, sometimes may not be religious concealment. Government, law enforcing agencies and other agencies, whenever it comes to the domain that look to, there are some issue two live-in partners or any other partner, two consenting adults are there, and something is there where this can end up to this kind of incident where somebody may be killed or the life partner may be killed, police must take an action. And now the needs to have a central kind of legislation. Instead of the states are making it, we have to have a central legislation which may distinguish between right to choose life partner, a fundamental right, and also when it comes to the religious and concealment identity. And moment action is taken, and moment somebody, the guilty, the perpetrator is taken to its logical end, and judgment is done in a time-bound manner, and it publicized, and the girls are made aware about this kind of incident, then definitely it will reduce. But the question is that one has to be aware that, look, if somebody tried to allure, somebody tried to conceal the identity, one has to approach to the court of law. That is why there is a need to have a central legislation, Vineet bhai.
Absolutely. Great points there, Ashwini. Dr. Pankaj Kumar, if you're there with us.
Yes, I am.
Dr. Pankaj, in your opinion, in your professional opinion, what are the reasons, what are the motivations behind, such crimes? Is this loosely based on desperation, or do you think that the fear and the deterrence of law is not embedded too deeply in our society? That's why people think that they can get away literally with murder.
Yeah. First of all, I'm really sorry for the loss for the family. And before moving ahead, as you rightly said, this is a question which has got a lot of facets to it, a lot of implications to it, and answer can be very long. Murder is a heinous crime, and it is one of the biggest crime one can do against humanity. So we need to see why one does that. Going into psychology, it can be out of rage, of anger, due to one's antisocial personality aspects, due to dopamine rush, and a lot of other things can be named behind it. But coming back to a question, does one have a fear of law deterrent? That is a very important question. In today's world, the rage is so high and people's threshold for anger is really low. And now even after COVID, the person's stress levels are boiling like anything, losing their businesses, jobs and whatnot. So their anger level is like on the peak. Even the smallest of the stimulus can result into drastic and really heinous and horrendous crimes what we seen in this thing. But is it different thing what you are dealing here? Live-in partners, probably they were married, as you said some time back. So he committed a murder and he married on the same day. So it doesn't seems to be a crime of which was like a fit of rage or of impulse that we seen in the last Shraddha case. I have been saying this in various channels, including yours. That seems to be a pre-planned thing, properly motivated thing. Similarly, in this case also similar psychology. The person was in a relationship for a long time. So it seems to be a planned thing. It doesn't seem to be out of fit of rage, out of anger. No, he was trying to persuade the partner to let him go and marry according to his family. But when things didn't work his way, so ultimately he has to take a step which probably sadly the poor girl lost her life. So there are a lot of implications to it, a lot of things to it. Yes, the fear of law needs to be embedded in the society. If that fear is not in the psychology of a person, then if you let loose everyone, so they can do anything, and it won't be a civilized society. It will be a jungle raj, anybody can do anything, then it will be like iski lathi, uski bell. Then this is not the way of society work and should work. Sadly, the law should be supreme and everyone should respect law, and they should have fear, as in your words, in their heart and their mind and their soul. That's very important.
Okay. Mr. Ved Bhushan, former ACP of Delhi Police, also joins us on the program. Ved Bhushan जी, हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए, समय देने के लिए आपका धन्यवाद. ये जो क्राइम की बात कर रहे हैं हम, ये एक अलग क्राइम नहीं है. ऐसे मिलते जुलते गुनाह भारत में पिछले कुछ दिनों में लगातार होते आए हैं. आपके अनुसार, आपके प्रोफेशनल फीडबैक और रवैये के अनुसार आपको क्या लगता है कि किस तरीके की मानसिकता ऐसे क्राइम्स करवाती है?
सबसे बड़ी अदालत सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जजमेंट दिया लेडी डिटेंशन के ऊपर. एक बहुत बड़े ऐतिहासिक लैंडमार्क जजमेंट था, बहुत बड़े लार्जेस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव में दिया गया. क्योंकि जिस तरह से हम ट्रांजिशन पीरियड में गुजर रहे हैं, पहले हमारे पास ब्रिटिशर्स का राज था, अब हम इंडिपेंडेंट कंट्री है, तो तमाम वेस्टर्न कल्चर की चीजें सोसाइटी में आ रही थी और जो तमाम पैटर्न चेंज हो रहे थे उसको तमाम को ध्यान में रखते बहुत लैंडमार्क जजमेंट. परंतु अभी हम इसके लिए पूरी तरह तैयार नहीं थे. इस तरह से जो श्रद्धा वालकर केस या आगे केस की आप बात कर रहे हैं, इसमें तमाम जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन को लेकर जो चीजें आ रही हैं, निकल कर आ रही हैं, बल्कि गलत रूप से निकल कर आ रही हैं, इसके बारे में बहुत ज्यादा ना तो परिवारों को अभी तैयार है, कहीं मुस्लिम हिंदू का मामला बनता है, कहीं यादव और जाट का मामला बनता है, कहीं और कम्युनिटीज का मामला बनकर निकल कर आ रहा है। ये तो केसेस है इकोनॉमिक केस जो हम और आप टीम पर अंदर डिस्कस करते हैं। हजारों लाखों केस ऐसे हैं तो डिस्कस ही नहीं हो पाते, वो अनहार्ड तक चले जाते हैं, पुलिस में उसकी FIR भी नहीं होती, बहुत सारी चीजें। मैं आपको बहुत छोटा सा एक एग्जाम्पल दूंगा। व्हेन आई वाज इन यूनाइटेड नेशंस मिशन साइप्रस में था, तो मेरे साथ मेरी जो पुलिस ऑफिसर कलीग थी ऑस्ट्रेलियन लेडी, तो मैंने उनसे एक पर्सनल क्वेश्चन कर लिया कि आपका सिंगल है मैरिड है, तो उन्होंने बताया कि मैंने एक साथ के लिए शादी की थी, मैंने नेक्स्ट डे अपने हस्बैंड को डाइवोर्स कर दिया। मैंने बड़ी रिक्वेस्ट से उनसे क्वेश्चन किया कि भाई यू डेजर्टेड योर हस्बैंड, तो उन्होंने बताया कि क्योंकि मैं उसके साथ पूरी लाइफ रह नहीं सकती थी, क्योंकि उसको जो बॉडी से उसको स्वेटिंग की पसीना इतना बदबूदार आता था कि मैं पूरी साथ के साथ उसके साथ नहीं गुजार सकती। परंतु उसके लिए उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा, वो अपने आराम से नौकरी कर रही है, हस्बैंड कहीं और कहीं सेटल हो गया। परंतु अभी हमारी सोसाइटी ट्रांजिशन पीरियड में है, हम जो पिछली जो मेरी पीढ़ी है, आपकी और मेरी पीढ़ी है और नेक्स्ट जो पीढ़ी है, बिल्कुल तीनों की जो चीजें हैं अभी कुछ चीजें कॉमन रह गई है। जब तक ये हम पूरी तरह से मैच्योर नहीं हो पाएंगे, इसके लिए इसका जो हल ढूंढने की कोशिश हम लोग करते हैं कि पुलिस टास्क की कमी है, पुलिस गलत है, पुलिस नहीं कर पा रही, पुलिस हर एक के बेडरूम में नहीं जा सकती, पर्सनल लाइफ में ठीक नहीं कर सकती, हर कार में हर बॉडी को चेक नहीं कर सकती। तो ये तमाम जो चीजें हैं, ये इसका जो निशाना है और जो हल है, जो सोल्यूशन है, समथिंग एल्स, कुछ और कहीं पर हमें जाना है। परंतु हम तमाम लोग पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज बनाते हैं, सरकारों की विफलता के रूप में देखते हैं और तरह की चीजों में ढूंढते हैं। परंतु इसका जो हल है, निर्णय है, क्योंकि ये बड़े लार्ज स्केल पर है और बड़े हिंदुस्तान को, पूरे हिंदुस्तान को अफेक्ट कर रहा है। ये चीजें सोसाइटी के अंदर दिल्ली शहर के जहाँ है और आप रहते हैं, यहाँ लाखों की तादाद में स्टूडेंट है, काम करने के लिए यंग लड़के यहाँ पर रहती है, गुड़गांव, नोएडा, दिल्ली के अंदर, वो अपने परिवारों को छोड़कर यहाँ पर आती हैं और बहुत सारे जो रिलेशनशिप यहाँ पर डेवलप होती है, वो बाद में कहीं ना कहीं इसकी वजह से, चाहे वो पारिवारिक रीजन से, कास्ट के रीजन से और तमाम और रीजन से, वो फेल हो जाती हैं। और जिस तरह की चीजें अब आपके सामने आई, इसका बिगड़ा हुआ रूप निकल कर आया। अल्टीमेटली श्रद्धा को भी अपनी जिंदगी देनी पड़ी, अल्टीमेटली निक्की यादव को भी जिंदगी देनी पड़ी। यदि उनको पता लग गया था कि मैं इसके साथ कंटिन्यू नहीं कर पाऊंगी, इसलिए कहीं और शादी करना चाहते, यदि वो रिट्रैक्ट कर जाती तो शायद आज निक्की हमारे आपके बीच में होती। तो इसलिए जो लड़की है, चाहे लड़का है, तमाम सोसाइटी के लोग की जिम्मेदारी है अपने बच्चों को पढ़ाएं, लिखाएं, बताएं, प्रोग्रेस। यदि सोसाइटी को प्रोग्रेसिव बनना है तो उसके साथ साथ आगे और भी चीजों के लिए प्रोग्रेसिव माइंड की जरूरत है, बनाने की जरूरत है। उम्मीद है कि आने वाले टाइम में जो यंगस्टर्स है वो चीज को बेहतर कर देंगे, क्योंकि हम और आप डिबेट कर रहे हैं, दूर तक जाएगा कि यदि इस तरह के बेसिक नहीं चल पा रही है तो उसको ब्रेक करने का फायदा है। अल्टीमेटली उसको पुल ऑन करने का, फेंकने का कोई फायदा नहीं, क्योंकि इसका जो रिजल्ट है वो बहुत खतरनाक, गंदा और भयावह हो सकता है। तो लेट अस होप कि आने वाले टाइम में इनसे सुधरेंगे, निकलेंगे और जो कोर्ट, कानून और सिस्टम है वो अपनी जगह काम कर रहेगा। निक्की यादव के केस में तमाम अरेस्ट हो गई, श्रद्धा वालकर केस में चार्जशीट आ गई, पंजाबला केस में चार्जशीट की तैयारी चल रही है। तमाम चीजें, कोर्ट, कानून अपनी जगह काम करेगा। उनको सोसाइटी का सिस्टम है, जो सवाल आपने मेरे से पूछ किया है, इसका जवाब मैं ये समझता हूँ कि शायद अभी हमें और पेशेंस की जरूरत है और धैर्य रखने की जरूरत है। सोल्यूशन जरूर निकलेगा, जब एक जजमेंट आया तो उसका नतीजा भी सही होगा। Over to you, please.
Right. Ashwini, this is also basically symptomatic of what our social fabric is made up of. Do you think that the integrity of our social fabric needs to be corrected, needs to be reinstated? It's not that murders only happen in India. They happen all across. You look at the mass shootings that happen in the United States as well. It's happened in a country like New Zealand as well. But there definitely has to be a stable and an integral deterrence for something like this from happening. And this also requires a lot of training, a lot of education and sensitization for the police to handle cases which are women centric in nature.
Very candidly, Vineet bhai, you have raised this wonderful point, the point with respect to how the people should be made aware, how the police should be accountable, active and to take action in a time-bound manner. What happens, Vineet bhai, whenever a girl approaches to the police instead of making an excuse or looking it into the aspect that whether it is a consented relationship, whether it is a relationship between two consented adults, whether they can avoid it, police must register the first information report immediately and start investigation, so that if there are any chances of killing that girl or there are any chances of harming that particular person who has approached the police, that can be avoided. This is one. Second, moment it comes to the police that something is about to happen, because there is a preventive action as well in the under the Code of Criminal Procedure section 149, Mr. Ved Bhushan would agree. Moment police come to know, even without receiving any complaint, that some action may happen, because beat constables are very much aware about what is happening in one picket, what is happening on one block, whosoever is residing here, whether somebody is residing as a married couple or they are living in a live-in relationship, or this is a case where two people have decided to live, or a case of a concealed identity. Police under the preventive action take an action, approach to the parents, and also if required, then it should be referred to the higher officials for the action. This is the second way to avoid it. Moment third, under the garb of this Article 25, that right to profess, propagate religion and right to marry a person of his or her own choice under Article 21, one can go do this kind of act. Police must be made aware that the parents do have, even the Special Marriage Act, there is a clause which says if parents agreeing to this relationship, parents will say yes. If they are not agreeing, parents will say no. But moment it comes that papers have been, something has been, the evidence has been destroyed, paper has not reached to the parents, age is different, name is different, when they approach to the marriage officer, because in front of the marriage officer the identity proof is required to be filed, and moment in the identity proof it comes to know that there is some allurement, there is a smearing of some concealment of fact, concealment of marriage, then immediately parents should be on personal level involved. Third, law, we don't have any specific law, Vineet Bhai, as you rightly said, in the country which can prevent these actions. We need a central legislation to deal with this kind of cases, so that the murder which has happened, Nikki's case can be avoided, Shraddha's case which can be avoided, even in any other cases में suitcase में, fridge में, bed के नीचे bodies को मार दिया, 6 महीने, 8 महीने, 10 महीने की बात आती है. And fourth, when it comes to the knowledge of police, or somebody is concealing the identity and trying to lure a girl, then there has to be a check and balance. So law we need, but at the same time the law enforcing agencies. तभी क्या हुआ है निर्भया के बाद? We have Mahila Thana in all over the country. Whenever you approach to the police, we have Mahila Thana, Mahila courts. But does that Mahila Thana or Mahila courts have been able to prevent the misuse, prevent the abuse, prevent these kind of cases? Of course not, Vineet Bhai. So you and all would agree the central legislation, the information to every citizen of this country that look, you should avoid this. Third, to legalize a live-in relationship. Live-in relationship, most of the live-in relationship, Vineet Bhai, you see, starts with love and it ends with murder or some it lands to the police station, the rape or other cases. So there has to be a law where boundaries has to be set, and the special squad should be appointed of the women and men who can prevent this action. Vineet Bhai, over to you.
Absolutely. Great points enunciated by Mr. Ashwini Dubey. Dr. Pankaj Kumar, in terms of training on handling these social dilemmas and predicaments, how far do you think we need to work?
This is a very vital question and an important area. In social, this is a big area which needs to be looked into. Family needs to, and first of all, society needs to empower the woman as a whole. And on the minute level, family needs to work on the basic psychology of the family members, including the male and the female both. They should inculcate the value system in the family, that girls have an equal right, and they should speak for their right. And if something is wrong has been done, they should stand against that wrong and say it's wrong. They should not be afraid of telling wrong as wrong. If we go back a little bit, Shraddha says she also went to police, complained in the police station, gave a written application, yeah, I've been harassed and so forth. But God knows what went in her mind, and she withdrew that application and nothing was done. She should have stood her ground firmly, and she should not bend under the pressure, any pressure or whatsoever. So then probably she would have been alive. Not just Shraddha, many more lives like this could have been saved in whole of the nation and worldwide. So girls should have should inculcate those values. Yes, you have a total right, you have equal say. The parents should give their girls proper right to put up their views in the family. Not just boys shouldn't be given special treatment as seen in our culture. That's the wrong thing. That one should think. Secondly, government should take up a lot of big plans to educate things, to inculcate things, and basic knowledge of law and rights should be with every individual. Hardly any layman or any educated person for that matter knows their basic rights, and as a woman their rights, what their rights and what facilities government provide for their safety and to take care of their rights also. That should be done at the government level. So a lot needs to be done in these areas, and overall the psychology, male psyche, I am the supreme person, I am the utmost power, and मैं घर का करदाता सब कुछ करदाता हूँ मैं. That should change, and they should start respecting the female in the house. They should start giving equal rights and place to the family. And don't look forward. You will find a lot of examples in family near and dear one, your friends or friend circle, where you will see a subtle, not overtly subtle dishindrance and subtle that parity is not there, and male-female gap is there. That should be dealt. The example is, a lot of examples can be found in the society. So we need to deal it strictly with a firm hand. We couldn't let it go. That's very important here.
Absolutely. वेद भूषण जी, बहुत अच्छा बिंदु रखा डॉक्टर पंकज कुमार ने कि ये जो
Sorry to interrupt you. I would like to take a leave because I have a patient who needs
no problem, no issues, sir. All right, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
वेद भूषण जी, अच्छा पॉइंट रखा डॉक्टर पंकज कुमार ने. कहा कि ये जो पेट्रियार्की का जो माइंडसेट है, शायद इसकी वजह से भी ऐसे हादसे और ऐसे जो जुर्म है हमारे देश में वो देखने को मिलते हैं और बढ़ भी रहे हैं.
अश्विनी द्विवेदी ने और पंकज जी ने एक सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो क्रक्स में आया वो ये आया कि पुलिस को अभी तक सेंसिटाइज तरह से नहीं किया गया कि इस तरह के मैटर्स को डील कर सके. ना तो उसको ट्रेनिंग का पार्ट बनाया गया. यदि आज भी मैं दिल्ली से नौकरी करने के 5 साल बाद में भी खाने में जो लेडी जाती है, उसको ये कह दिया जाता है कि मियाँ बीवी का मामला है, क्या बॉयफ्रेंड गर्लफ्रेंड का मामला भी वुमेन हेल्थ से ले जाओ. पुलिस इज द फर्स्ट रेस्पॉन्डर. अश्विनी जी ने भी यही कहा, पंकज जी ने भी यही कहा, मेरा भी कहना यही है और आप भी मेरे से एग्री करोगे. पुलिस इज द फर्स्ट रेस्पॉन्डर. कोई भी लड़की श्रद्धा वालकर केस में वो जब थाने में गई थी, यदि उसी दिन बुलाकर एक सिंपल इंक्वायरी हो जाती, उसके पेरेंट्स को, दोनों के पेरेंट्स को बता दिया जाता कि दिस इज गोइंग ऑन बिटवीन योर गर्ल एंड बॉय, तो शायद वो श्रद्धा वालकर हमारे बीच में होती. इसी तरह के मामले में जिसमें दिल्ली पुलिस का एक कांस्टेबल भी अरेस्ट हुआ है, ये कांस्टेबल की नॉलेज में था. ये पुलिस ऑफिसर चाहे वो किसी भी रेस्पेक्ट ऑफ रैंक, उसकी जिम्मेदारी थी कि वो अपने परिवार में अपने भाई को बताए कि इट इज नॉट फेयर कि आप एक लड़की के रहते हुए दूसरी लड़की से शादी कर रहे हैं. आइदर यू डाइवोर्स दिस गर्ल और गो एज पर. तो ये तमाम जो चीजें हैं जो पुलिस को सेंसिटाइज करना है एज ए फर्स्ट रेस्पॉन्डर, इसकी बहुत बड़ी कमी है, क्योंकि आज भी ये ट्रेनिंग का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा नहीं है. इसको सेकंड डेट पर काउंट किया जाता है. तमाम तरह के जी ने बताया हिंदुस्तान में महिला थाने खुल गए हैं, परंतु आप जाएं वहां पर जो स्टाफ है महिलाओं का, आई एम वेरी सॉरी टू से, वहां पर मैक्सिमम महिलाएं होती हैं, परंतु उनका भी माइंडसेट देखिए. ये दुर्भाग्य की बात यह है कि कहा जाता है औरत की सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन होती है. तो आप उनका माइंडसेट देखिए. मुझे देखना पड़ता है दिल्ली में भी, दूसरे आसपास के जो स्टेट्स हैं उनमें मुझे बाइक पे जाना पड़ता है कुछ ऐसे इस चीज को लेकर. तो अभी भी माइंडसेट चेंज नहीं हुआ है. इवन महिला पुलिस ऑफिसर का माइंडसेट भी वही है जो ट्रेडिशनल पुलिस में चला रहा था आज से 50 साल पहले. तो तमाम लॉ बदल गए, बहुत तेजी से बदले गए हैं, तमाम तरह की जजमेंट्स आए हैं, तमाम तरह की निर्भया के बाद वर्मा कमेटी की रिकमेंडेशंस आई हैं. हम अपनी सोसाइटी को पुलिस को हम चेंज नहीं कर पाए. इट नीड्स टू बी रेक्टिफाइड. हमारी ट्रेनिंग सेंसिटाइजेशन की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है दिल्ली पर.
Right, almost out of time. Ashwini, before we leave, last question for you. In terms of bringing about awareness, Ashwini, what role can the states and the center play in dissuading people from taking these extreme actions?
Vinit bhai, thank you for having me. In fact, I was looking for 30 seconds time. Vinit bhai, first, I would say that before the states and police come to the action, victims' family must report it. They should not have any fear of retaliation. Most of the time, what perpetrators coming from financially stronger, is influential families, have strong political connections or the belief, or under the fear of social respect, they do not report it. So the parents approach immediately, they come to know that something has happened. Second, there has to be a central force like CRPF, CSF. We have to have a central force throughout the country which deals with these kind of offences, and for that we have to have a legislation. Third, Vineet bhai, at last, one such incident whenever happens, the mainstream media must report it. What just happens? If you remember, Vineet bhai, few years back, it was an incident of love jihad, where an e-rickshaw driver named Dilbar Quraishi trapped a 13-year-old Hindu girl in a love affair posing as Hindu man, and later eloped with her on October 18, Vineet bhai, in 2021. And both the headline and body of the reports of that very famous newspaper report says, no, it does not mention the name of the culprit Dilbar Quraishi. The Times of India report merely says a 13-year-old girl was kidnapped by a 25-year-old man and was rescued from Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh by the police. So that responsibility also lies on those kind of people who try to hide the identity of the accused. So all three things must be taken care, and I think the central government must bring a legislation in. It's the union list, as the powers given in the union list of the constitution. Yeah. Over to you, Vidit.
Absolutely. Great points there. So a number of reforms, a number of attentive changes pertaining to awareness of what you should be getting into and getting out of at the right time is something which the state and the centre need to take responsibility of. Would like to thank all my guests for being a part of this illuminating conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.